Very well.
Bread? Please, sir. Just a bit of bread.
Try not to look too incompetent. It's embarrassing. Trap right ahead. Trap right ahead. Trap right ahead. Trap right ahead. Warden.
Welcome back, friend. You'll be glad to learn that the Circle is well on its way to recovery. Orzammar, indeed. You have piqued my curiosity. It is common knowledge that dwarves lack the aptitude for spellcraft. She will never be able to weave the simplest magic, no matter how hard she tries. Fascinating. I suppose the Circle should be flattered. I cannot deny anyone, dwarf or human, the chance to learn. Knowledge should not be withheld from those who seek it. Tell Dagna of Orzammar that this path will not be easy. But if she chooses it, then she is welcome here at the Circle. She will live and study with the Tranquil, and perhaps the apprentices, when it is appropriate. If only the Circle was in better shape. I fear she may be disappointed when she arrives. This will be interesting. She could tell us much about our dwarven neighbors. Yes, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. I shall take this as an indication that perhaps things are starting to look up for the Circle. thank you. You've already done much for the Circle. Now you must see to your duty as a Grey Warden. I wish you well. Know you will always be welcome here.
Concentrate, like we practiced. Now, fire!
Yes. As you say. Of course.
Done. I'm taking these apprentices to Redcliffe. The first enchanter says you need every able-bodied mage for the war. They're young, but capable enough, as you saw.
Is it true? Is this the Great Blight?
Of course.
Big. Hello, how can I... It's you! And it's been, well, quite a while. Enough time to get to the Circle and back, I hope. Oh, please tell me what they said. Ancestors, bless you! I can't believe it! There hasn't even been a Dwarven observer in the Circle since Urelden in the 13th century! I need to pack. No, my parents would get suspicious. I need to go. Is there anything I should bring? Books? Tuition? Then I should go before my parents come looking for me. If you ever go to the Circle again, maybe I'll see you there.
Ancestors guard my... I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers. Please, find me as soon as you return.
It's about time the Darkspawn started attacking the surface. They bothered us for far too long.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for. Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not. Just as many say Harrowmont. Neither are paragons, and the scales being equal, I go with the promise of more trade. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Why, thank you so much. Interesting.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. The Shapered controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting. The Shaper of Memories controls the Shapered, Orzammar's record system. Like the Chantry's historians, but more thorough. They track the births and lineage of every dwarf born in the city, every property sale, death in battle, marriage, or divorce. The Shaperette is in the prime tier of the city, near the royal estate. Does this mean you will help me then? I can see the Maker's hand on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
There's the rich one. We'll get plenty for their kid once we cut them out.
As you say.
Who are you? You don't look like any guardsman I ever saw, and that's not much of a uniform. Oh, you looking for a chance to bring in some coin? Could be I have that opportunity. Especially for someone with a few connections above ground. No offense, but your kings have some laws that don't make sense in a practical kind of world. Like about who gets to buy and sell lyrium, the sacred gift the stone provides us to show her love. No law should regulate that. The laws are meant to keep mages away from the stuff, so there's always buyers in the Circle Tower. I got one man named Godwin. He's expecting a delivery of a stone's weight. You want an investment opportunity? I could see fit to, say, sell you that lyrium instead, at the reasonable price of 50 sovereigns. You can keep it, or, since you can travel freely from here, sell it to Godwin, who you know is buying. And if you bring back his return order, I could pay you, say, 20 sovereigns as a finder's fee. You haggle like a merchant born. Deal. Here's the lyrium, then. You, probably don't want to take it out of the box. I'll be waiting for the next order somewhere out of sight. Say, just around the corner.
Have you a coin to spare, my lord? It's for my son. He's sick. He hasn't any clean clothes to wear or anything to eat today. Neither have I. Thank you. That a stranger would care so much when my own family barred me from their halls unless I'm willing to. But no! I can't bear to even think of it! My name is Erlinda. I wasn't always like this. I was born to a mining caste family. We weren't wealthy, but I never went hungry before. Now it's all gone, and it's my own fault. Ancestors curse me, but there's nothing I can do to set it right. My son's father is casteless, as is he. My parents have disowned me unless I agree to abandon the child in the deep roads and pretend I never bore him. I cannot abandon my baby. The Shapers teach that only children of true lineage exist, not those born casteless. But they never carried a child. He cries like any other infant, and smiles when he's warm and full. I can't kill him because of an accident of birth, an accident I forced on him. I thought about that. They say there's no caste up there, that humans don't care about lineage. I've never met a surfacer, though. I thought it might not be safe. If it gives my son a chance to live, I will go. Thank you, stranger, for opening my eyes. Perhaps I'll see you next in the light of the sun.
Well, look at that. It's not often old Nadezhda sees a fine-dressed stranger here in Dust Town. Help a poor cripple. Well, thank you truly, my lord. That's right good of you. It takes a stranger to notice how bad things are, huh? No dwarf would lift a sodding finger. Excuse my language. What takes you out of the Diamond Quarters, stranger? You got a vice you're looking for old Nadezhda to fill? I'd say it was an accident, try to get some sympathy coin, but you look like you'd rather hear the truth. I was running protection for the Carta when some guardsmen caught me. Duster I was with had coin for a bribe, but I took a stand. Guardsmen broke my sodding kneecaps and had me kneel in dung until the infection set in. Never healed proper. I don't know where you're from, but in Orzammar, casteless have no lineage, so it's no crime to hurt you. You're born to wear a branded face in Orzammar, and you'll live your life in Dust Town. Means you don't exist. It tells everyone who sees you not to work with you, not to serve you, and not to care if you're hurt. The Deep Lords burn it into us the day we're born, so no one accidentally oversteps her place. If you have that kind of coin, Salroka, you don't want to drink what they've got here. Take yourself up to Tapster's. Long as your face isn't branded, they've got anything you want. I'll just stay out of your way then.
I'm no one. No one. Don't look at me.
You got a crust of bread to spare?
That Jarvie is a dangerous one.
If I were tall and beautiful like you, I could make all sorts of money.
It will be done.
Your clothes are so fancy. Did you get them topside? My ma'am used to say they don't got no stone to protect them topside. If I go up there, I'm gonna fall into the sky. Yes. When my dad left, he never came back. Who's to say he didn't fall up, eh? Don't fall into the sky when you go back up there.
Don't you go asking so many questions. Get you in trouble one day.
Jarvia said it's dangerous for anyone who talks to you.
Of course.
Welcome to Jan-Ar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail. At Jan-Ar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harriman's a fair man. My father did business with him. He always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Of course, keep in mind we also take items on trade. A Trast Valar, stranger. Here for armor or conversation? Has she been bothering you? Gets a whiff of surface stink and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go. What? Do you even know what you've done? She's castless now. She can never marry, never work, and never be a part of this family again.
Why the fuss? I am sure the Circle Tower is full of parental figures just waiting to tell her what is best.
My daughter is dead to me now. Leave my store. You're not welcome here. You monster! You sent my daughter to the surface! Now she
As
can
you
never
say.
return! Get out! Leave us alone. Your foolishness killed our daughter. There is nothing for you here. Leave us alone. Your foolishness killed our daughter.
Yes.
That's excellent armor. Dwarven make?
From what I've heard of dwarven
You have
politics,
come at a difficult time.
I'm almost surprised we haven't seen
Orzammar
blood
is
running
ailing
these
for
streets.
want of a king.
Greetings.
Grey Warden
Is it true
arrives in
there's civil war on
Orzammar,
the surface,
undoubtedly
too?
to offer assistance to Lord Harrowmont. The Idukans have held the throne for 370 years. That's long enough.
It's times like this we really need a paragon.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Orzammar welcomes the Grey Warden.
Lord Harrowmont is a weak man, and he will be a weak king. Yes.
Sorry, can't talk. A crier's work is never done.
So, how is it the
Good day, Grey
dwarves
Warden.
have a king? I thought they voted on everything, or something like that.
Is it true there's civil war on the surface,
I can't
too?
believe House Harrowmont would overstep itself like this.
Oh, it must be so cold up on the surface. How do you stand it?
You're wise to support the rightful king.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memory? Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine! He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. I was looking for something about the Ortan Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Ortan, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Ortan, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the Deep Roads. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city. I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? What sort of charities do you mean? Traditionally, that is their extended family's responsibility, but sometimes people fall through the cracks. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the Deep Roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then. But we lost too many battles. We lost our golems. And we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with Darkspawn. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle. But Caridin's Tig is far into the Deep Roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. They are to us what a colony is to surfacers. They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the Darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the Deep Roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many Darkspawn as possible. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed... One golem is worth it. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. At the other side of the old empire. During the last Blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the Deep Roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the Blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to Paragon. A Paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. There is one Paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Perhaps you should stand over there instead.
Are you with that warrior girl who's always here?
Of course.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring? Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. You must understand, Harrowmont hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Balin can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Balin to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper. Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception, I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at tapsters in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the Assembly of the Clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the Gate Guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest, the loss of our king, has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
A new offensive is required against the Darkspawn, says Lord Balin.
What do you want? Ah, I suppose you're the Grey Warden everyone's talking about. It's fascinating the surface has an entire order dedicated to fighting Darkspawn. Down here, that's just what fighting means. But I'm sure it's more difficult on the surface. It must be much harder to find them. I am? And what business would you have with me? Now, was that an attempt to cozen me into revealing my choice, or are you simply making small talk? It's so hard to tell with you surface types. You're all so charmingly direct and artless. Who wants to know? It certainly can't be you. What interest would a Grey Warden have in who rules Orzammar? Well, this isn't exactly a surface broadsheet. Where did you get these? Never mind. It is true enough, but there's nothing I can do about it. This deal was made on behalf of our entire house. Only my father can revoke it. He is leading a Deep Roads expedition, trying to secure an ancient Tig. It's unlikely he'll be back before the election, but perhaps this vote is important enough for you to brave the tunnels to tell him? The Dace family would be in your debt. He was searching an old Idukan site. He left me with this map, in case his expedition never returned. I'll give you a pass as well. Usually, no one is allowed past the front lines. Does that mean you'll go? So Balin's victory means enough for you to risk your life. How interesting.
Raise your voice in support of Lord Harrowmont, the one true king of Orzammar, and our
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha! I'll...
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled. I'm Loylanar Ivo, warrior, which is more than I can say for that useless sod. Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino. All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of Smiths would return safely from the Deep Roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Ogren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branka's honor, then Ogren starts screaming and runs him through. It was a huge scandal. Ogren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the Deep Roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled. She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the Deep Roads and abandoned him. Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Ogren was one of the best warriors of his generation. Chasing some old treasure, she was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her. She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Ogren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name. It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the Deep Roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Ogren wants to keep risking lives searching. If you see any guardsmen, tell them Ogren was at it again.
So, I've been hearing
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper. Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
Very well.
Good day to you.
What was that soup you made for supper last night?
Oh, that's a traditional Ferelden lamb and pea stew. Do you like it?
Oh, so it was lamb then. It had a certain texture I don't normally associate with lamb.
They didn't make lamb and pea stew for you in Lothlorien?
We ate simply there. Whole grains made into biscuits or bread, and vegetables from the garden, cooked lightly. Hey, what's down there?
Ugh, just...
Told him I don't... Lord Dennick Helmy, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand what I'm saying, right? On the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden? You don't get far as the youngest and most outspoken member of the Assembly without keeping an ear to the stone. I heard there was a Grey Warden in town. No offense, but you kind of stand out. Very good. I guess someone already told you I was good for nothing, drinking my life away at tapsters. Or did they leave off at greatest shame to ever fall upon the Assembly? I've always liked that one. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent deshers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the Assembly. Orzammar is so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary. Oh, well, I'd ask for proof, or why you care, but frankly, I'm so tired of it I'm not even surprised anymore. I don't even want the land, but my house would kill me if I turned it down. Responsibilities, you know. Now I'll have to go through the whole process of rejecting the deal. And we'll both have to try something else. And I thought it was going to be a nice day. Otherwise, my whole house will be humiliated. Doesn't make a difference anyway, one's as bad as the next.
What do you want? Hey, I heard about you. Grey Warden, coming from the surface. Great crisis in the world. People are saying how you've thrown yourself on Harrowmont's wagon train. I figured you'd be the one, you know, who could help me find Branka. But I guess you're just like all the rest. hungry Deep Lords. The only real concern they have is whose ass gets the throne. You don't have to play dumb, Warden. Their lackeys only come to me when they want something. Well, if you want the secrets of a paragon, do the work and find her. City's only living paragon, and she's been lost in the Deep Roads for 2 years. 2 years, and no one's raised a bleeding army to go look for her. What's it matter to you, huh? You trying to find out her secrets? That what Harrowmont sent you here for? I know he's been poking around, trying to find things out about her, what she was looking for. Won't tell me spit, though. He wants it for himself, right? A little blessing from the Ancients' technology, and he's assured the throne. Is that it? Too little, too late. But it's a nice gesture, Warden. If you think your boot kissing will get you an in I don't have, you're welcome to try this. I know both Harrowmont and Balin have been asking about her. 2 years without a peep, and suddenly now they want to start looking. If you find out what they know, it might just put me a step closer to finding her. Or sit here and have a drink. It's all the bleeding same to me. Barkeep? Sod off, Duster. Sod off, Duster.
Atrust Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapsters. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you? Aye? Maybe I can help. He should be by the trash barrel. Easy to spot. Everyone gives him a wide berth. Did you need something else, Warden? Aye? Maybe I can help. You must be the one he's waiting for. Table at the back. Did you need something else, Warden? With 52 types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have? Someone's feeling generous. A round of Valentis Red for everyone. This, my friend, is the Paragon of Ales. The best your money can buy. Enjoy.
They're everywhere! Back so soon? The proving is not finished. What happened? May the ancestors guide your arm.
Sod off, Duster.
Tell me, was the Tower of Magi everything you thought it would be?
Abominations running rampant? Templars ready to slaughter every mage in sight? Yes, it rather met all my expectations.
You don't think you might have been better off getting your training there, instead of whatever your mother taught you?
You're right. My mother didn't nearly have as many abominations running about. That certainly would have improved my education.
I'll give you that one.
I'm so relieved.
I hear there are all kinds of rules that govern the proving. They get very mad if you break the rules.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight? Well, that's a surprise. Never thought the Grey Wardens would take an interest in our king. Let me just put you into the schedule here. Now, is there a particular name you wish listed? We'll just call you Grey Warden, seeing as those human names are a real burr to pronounce. We actually have an opening in the first round. Are you ready to start? Come back soon. You'll be fighting the bout as soon as both fighters are ready.
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me? Nor I you, but it's pretty obvious who you're working for. You're working for Harrowmont? Look, best of luck to you, but I really need to leave. I am. So if you're not here to... How do you know who I am? Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other. Balin's fighter, Miyaja, showed me love letters they have, from Revelka to me. If I fight, they'll expose us. You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. Balin's fighter, Miyaja, has the letters. If you make sure she never shows them to anyone, I'll fight for Harrowmont again. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first bout starts.
Very well.
So, let me get this straight. You were a cloistered sister?
You must have been a brother before you became a Templar, no?
I never actually became a Templar. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens before I took my final vows.
Do you ever regret leaving the Chantry?
No, never. Do you?
Yes. You may not believe it, but I found peace there. The kind of peace I've never known.
It used to get so quiet at the monastery that I would start screaming until one of the brothers came running. I would tell them that I was just checking. Oh, you never know, right?
No, I never did anything like that. I enjoyed the quiet.
Suit yourself. The look on their face was always priceless.
It will be done. Of course.
Allow me. I could do that for you. Yes?
Didn't get enough of the architectural beauty of Dusttown? You need old Nadezda to play tour guide? It's pretty much as you see it. The raw stone where the casteless live, because we're not welcome elsewhere. You're born to wear a branded face in Orzammar, and you'll live your life in Dusttown. Means you don't exist. It tells everyone who sees you not to work with you, not... The Deep Lords burn it into us the day we're born, so no one accidentally oversteps her... I'll just stay out of your way then.
So what's the deal with you and him anyway? Dare I ask?
Him? Him who? Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You know exactly who I'm talking about. Mr. Let's Make Kissy Faces over there.
My. You are jealous, aren't you? Did I take your favorite Grey Warden away from you?
What? I'm not jealous. I'm horrified.
Those blushing cheeks of yours tell a different tale.
These blushing cheeks are terrified that you'll suck all the blood out of them once you're finished with him.
If I feel the need to suck on anything of yours, Alistair, you'll be the first to know.
That was so not what I meant.
Perhaps we should go and tell him together about your touching concerns. Perhaps he'll pay more attention to you if you ask nicely.
Uh-huh. I think we're done here.
Done before you started, in fact.
The proving's almost starting. I should leave if you haven't found anything. Balin's fighter, Miaja, has love letters that would prove I'm having an affair with a married woman. And I Dukin at that. She said if I fight, they'll be on every broadsheet for the next month. If you get those letters for me, I can enter the proving again. If you want me to register, you'll have to hurry. The lists close after the first bout.
As you say.
So what do you think will happen to all those people we left behind in Lothering?
Some of them will find their way to Denerim. We will die, as the Maker wills.
Don't you wish you could have stayed there? To help more people, I mean.
If the Blight isn't stopped, everyone will die. This is the greater good we're serving, both of us, right here.
So it's all right to let some people die for the greater good? I'm not so sure about that. I felt bad leaving all those people there, all panicked and helpless.
You're doing what you must, Alistair. there will be worse to come yet. You will need to steel yourself. You know this.
I've never been very good at that. The steeling myself part. I find it better sometimes to just be a little weak. I'm all right with that, really.
I don't believe you. And either way, it's not as if any of us has a choice.
This is all I have right now. I could get more if I sell something.
Well, well. Looks like we have a visitor. Friend of yours?
Is there a problem here, friend? Are these men threatening you?
Please, don't get involved with this. You don't know what they're like.
Then allow me to make some introductions. These are dangerous times in Orzammar, stranger. Lucky us, the merciful Jarvia is offering protection from the chaos. You're wearing some fancy stuff there. Might make you a target. So if you want the Carta's guarantee of safety, it's yours for the reasonable price of 10 gold sovereigns. Or I can't say what might happen. Whoa, whoa! All right, you win. I'm not gonna die for 10 lousy sovereigns.
Ancestors, bless you for saving my poor store. I don't know how to express my gratitude. I've never met her, of course. They say she never leaves Dusttown. That's the older area of the city where the casteless congregate. She's the one directing this depravity. Since good King Endrin died, they're getting bolder. They used to be a problem only in Dusttown, but now they're in the commons, shaking honest men down for coin. A band of casteless thugs. They're to blame for all the crime in Orzammar these days. They're criminals, and the children of criminals. The ancestors themselves declared them irredeemable. Their births are abominations. They were born from no Kalna, with no acknowledgement by the Shapers. They are destined to be criminals. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm grateful for your help, but I don't think we have any more to talk about. Did you have something more pleasant you wish to discuss? I'm showing you the lowest prices I can afford, I assure you.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
News of the hour! 3 more clans endorse Lord Harrowmont as the true voice of the Dwarven folk. Is Paragon...
It will be done.
Allow me. I could do that for you. Hmm?
House Harrowmont is honored to have you here.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
It will be done.
Allow me. I could do that for you. I'll do it.
Greetings, Grey Warden.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
News of the hour! Lord Harrowmont's insinuations against Lord Balin reveal the truth.
It will be done. Enemies ahead!
Witness! Get them! Take that!
And ever light is not. Austrian! Hey!
It's really
Right there!
Ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Of course.
Thanks again, Warden.
Of course.
Hello. Your wish?
Yes.
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
As you say.
You're awfully bold, walking right up to me after coming out against Prince Balin and the Proving. You do know who I am, right? I'm Vartag Gavorn, the Prince's chief advisor. Explain what? That you just realized what a puling imbecile Harrowmont is, and want to throw your lot in with a winner? I see your point. Had you come to us first, Harrowmont would have suspected you. But now, he has no reason to think you're anything other than his champion, on the proving grounds and off. Are you saying you'd infiltrate his ranks for us? Let the prince know what's happening on the inside? That's a gold-plated offer, but I still have no proof you'll do what you say. If you really want Balin's trust, you'll have to prove your loyalty to Harrowmont is just an act. What has he asked you to do next? Then find out and come tell me. If you want to be of use to the prince, this is your chance to prove it. Stay away from Lord Helmy and Lady Dace. I'm sure we can find a better way to prove your worth. I look forward to seeing you again.
Grey Warden arrives in Orzammar, most likely to pay respect to the rightful king. Lord Balin suspected of personally defacing statues of the Paragon. Shocking allegations.
So I take it you did not enjoy your Templar training?
That's directed at me, I take it.
Do you see any others about who have failed at their religious instruction?
I didn't fail, I was recruited into the Grey Wardens.
And if you had not been recruited, what would have happened instead?
I would have turned into a drooling lunatic, slaughtered the Grand Cleric, and run through the streets of Denerim in my small clothes, I guess.
Your self-awareness does you credit.
I thought you'd like that.
The proving's almost starting. I should leave if you haven't found anything. Balin's fighter, Miaja, has love letters that would prove I'm having an affair with a married woman. She said if I fight, they'll be on every broadsheet for the next... If you want...
Watch for Piotr Naidukin. He's won the squad combat 4 years running. He has 11 decapitations so far. He needs just 3 more for the one-season record. Do I know anything? Let me tell you, Selraka. If Varric doesn't know it, it didn't happen in this ring. You want anyone in particular? They have a nice act going. Miaja runs up front with that big hammer, and everyone's heard it's got lyrium vein through it. Then Luke John goes all quiet-like and dirks you in the back. Ooh, Piotr's a monster. He's like a rock slide, a force of nature. Blink and bam, you're dead. And if he's fighting with his team, you'd better watch out. Last time they fought, the entire front row got showered in blood. You should stay and watch the show. There'll be serious blood on the stone tonight.
Good, you're back. I was about to start looking for you. Are you ready to fight? Remember, once the fight begins, the roster is final. No new additions are accepted, and all withdrawals are marked as losses. Come back soon.